It looks like Congress won't be getting their hands on the full Epstein files today. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche revealed to Fox News that the Department of Justice will not be releasing all of the files today as required by law. Blanche telling Fox that the DOJ will instead release several 100,000 documents over the next couple of weeks, and Congress can expect several 100,000 more to come. While the deputy attorney says the delay is needed to make sure any names or identifying information about witnesses is redacted, it's sure to keep the Epstein controversy front and center and give Democrats a boost in their messaging battle against the administration, as well as fan the flames of cover-up allegations. Here to discuss is the Hill's senior editor, Jesse Burns. Jesse, this is a bombshell decision by the administration. 1 month ago, we saw that the Epstein transparency law passed with overwhelming bipartisan support in Congress. Can the Department of Justice dig themselves out of this one?
Well, it's certainly a remarkable turn here because we have been expecting for the last 30 days the administration to be releasing these files, and the congressional bipartisan sponsors have been posting screenshots of social media of the text of the law, which is very black and white, saying that the administration must release all unclassified materials and by today's date. And so you are seeing now, warnings. It's a difficult situation because there's really no recourse. The administration, the Department of Justice, is the ones that prosecute anyone who is breaking the law. And in this situation, they're facing allegations of running afoul of the law itself. And so you are seeing Democrats as well as some Republicans who have been waiting for this release for weeks, now trying to assert some pressure on the administration to release these documents in a timely fashion.
That's right. They've had 30 days so far to release these documents. But can we expect the White House to brush this off and not hold anyone in the administration accountable for this delay?
Well, certainly there's going to be a lot of questions raised about the leadership of Attorney General Pam Bondi. Of course, the issue of the Epstein files has been a major source of tension at high levels of this administration. Of course, we saw Dan Bongino, who announced that he will be leaving the administration in his senior role as the number 2 at the FBI next month. He reportedly clashed with Bondi over the handling of the Epstein files. We saw the White House Chief of Staff, Susie Wiles, say that Bondi whiffed the initial handling of the files as well. And so there's already been tension around the DOJ and how it's handled these files for many months throughout this year. And so I think this is going to add another wrinkle to raise questions over how these files are being processed and how the DOJ, which is expected to enforce the law, how it's running afoul right now of the law, it appears, by delaying the release of hundreds of thousands of documents. Now, the one thing the administration is saying is they're doing this because they're trying to redact information. There's one provision in the law that says the DOJ can redact information, but unless they're saying that they're not going to release these today, it clearly runs afoul of that provision as well.
And we know Democratic Congressman from California, Ro Khanna, who authored the bill, had this to say on the House floor. Let's take a listen for a second.
Any Justice Department official who does not comply with this law will be subject to prosecution for obstruction of justice. If Pam Bondi does not comply with the law, she will be held either in inherent contempt of Congress or subject to impeachment. We will not rest until the law is complied with and justice is served.
So we heard that from Democratic Congressman Ro Khanna, and we know, the Republicans do control the House. So what power do the Democrats have at this point? I assume those involved in the decision to delay the release of some of these documents are safe, at least for now?
Well, for now, Democrats, their best option is to just try to raise as much loud noise around this as possible. We also saw, in addition to Ro Khanna, Thomas Massie, the Republican co-sponsor of this transparency bill, also trying to say the administration would be running afoul by not releasing the documents. House Democrats really have no recourse at the moment They are in the minority, of course. If they were to win a majority in next year's midterms elections, they could then open investigations into this. They could potentially try to refer senior members of the administration to the DOJ for prosecution. Of course, in this situation, the DOJ and senior members are the ones who are being accused of not following the letter of the law. And so Democrats right now, their best bet is to point out what they argue is hypocrisy on enforcing this transparency bill that Trump himself signed into law, and at the end of the day has calls for these documents to be released.
Now, Jesse, we know that the Epstein controversy has surrounded Trump's second term. Is there a feeling around Washington that this could be what torpedoes the Republicans' midterm chances?
Well, I don't think directly. This has certainly been one of arguably the biggest issues that has divided President Trump's base this year, his first year back in office. We have seen for months and months how this issue has really splintered Republicans. We've seen, and in fact, it's been one of the few issues that the president has at times appeared out of line with the position of his base that has really called for transparency, called for these documents to be released. Now, you'll remember, Sarachi, that the discharge petition in the House, which created this whole set in motion, this whole chain of events that has actually led to this moment where these documents are on the precipice of being released, that was involved the Epstein files. And since then, now you've seen Republicans and Democrats try to use that same mechanism in the House to target other issues, including health care, which we're expecting in January. And so indirectly, I think this is certainly opening up a can of worms for the administration. The economy, health care, those are going to be, we understand from polling, the major issues going into the midterm elections. But it does further underscore how Republicans and the Republican base might be, to some extent, testing its support of President Trump on this issue in particular.
That's right, and recently criticism coming from within the White House itself from Trump's chief of staff, Susie Wiles, in that Vanity Fair piece, where she said that, Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, whiffed on the release of the Epstein files. So thank you so much, Jesse Burns, there for us on the latest with the Epstein files release.
Thanks, Raji.